Hello, I've been playing Ranked for a while and the game in general. Not just Tekken 8 or Tekken 8 Ranked, but pretty much Tekken for a long time. But I'm making this video in case somebody wants to give it a listen. It's about how many times I realize that this happens to almost everyone. You know how people like to complain about their character is bad or the opponent's character is too strong or the game has no neutral and it's all about full charge and mashing and gambling. When you're playing ranked, at least up until certain ranks, that doesn't matter because people don't know how to use the character tools, their characters basically, in a way that makes sense for it to get to that point where you're gambling. I got to Fujin with almost every character, or above, as you can see in the ranks here. I did do it with Nina, because I don't feel like it, don't really like it. And I couldn't be bothered. But the thing is that, so this isn't a game where you just win with defense. You do have to have the aggression, the attack, and that was also the case in previous games. Though in previous games like in Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 6, you could afford to be more defensive. But we're not in those games now, we're in Tekken 8. And to get to Fujin, for example, I needed to have a basic understanding of the character, how they work, to be able to, you know, just the punishers and basic moves to do offense. Now, because I have been playing Tekken for a long time, it didn't take much for me to learn each character. I just had to, you know, update my combo memory because the characters have new combos and some of the new moves as well, and also the heating gauges because heat is an important part of the game. And so when you do that, when you can block and punish things and sidestep and duck the high strings, or at least know which strings have mid and high variants and lows, then you can get pretty far away, and then you have to convert those defensive opportunities into offensive opportunities. And you'll realize, like I said, that the better that you get at the game, you realize that people don't know how to do either of those things. So if you're getting angry, you don't have to get angry. Let's say that you're getting frustrated, you're having a hard time, you can't get to like Fujin. It's not the game. The game hasn't reached a point where you're gambling and you're being put into situations with a lot of mix-ups, where you're forced to make one decision that is bad for you if it doesn't work, and another decision that is even worse if it doesn't work. And a lot of option selects and things like those are starting to like disappear. You're not reaching that point yet. These people here at these ranks don't know how to do either of those things. Just get better, and yeah, neutral, whatever. Don't bother. Just do what's necessary to win. Neutral is like that's a luxury that you don't have yet because you're not used to playing the game. If you can play the game, you realize when it's time to play neutral and when it's time to skip it or go back to it, when there are opportunities to play it, when you're supposed to play it. So just learn a bit more about the game before you yap, okay? And be sure to, like I said, find the solutions for the situations that you're put in. Now, when we get to the Tekken King ranks, from Fujin to Tekken King, people are going to mash a lot more. They kind of know how to block some of the strings, some of the string variants, but they're still kind of clueless about what they're doing, honestly. So, getting to Tekken King, I need to be more familiarized with the characters and think fast. And from here upward is when the game starts to become even more difficult. because you get people that actually know better how to attack and defend. But you still find some other players that shouldn't. It's not that they shouldn't be at those ranks, but you can tell that there's a very big skill gap. That's partly because they got to these ranks with characters that allow them to ignore what the other opponent is doing more easily than with other characters. So if I were to pick, I don't know, if I were to pick like, I mean, every character can cheese, but you can cheese with some better than others. That's what I'm saying. I'll just keep it simple, and I'll say that like characters like Jin, Reina, Yoshimitsu, Dragunov, Lars, you can cheese the opponent really easily, and they won't know how to counter it. They're not thinking about it because everybody just wants to do their own thing, right? And you have tools that let you kind of just do your own thing, but more than others. And if you have decent defense on top of that, then that makes you twice as strong. But like I said, also none of that matters in the bigger picture. It matters a bit because it's easier to get into the character and to get to the rank. And I can give the example here. Some of these characters I put here because I found them silly to play, and they were just funny to use. Others just because I like them. But for example, Devil Jin is the character I've been using for the longest time, and I've bothered a lot of people talking about this character. People didn't know me, so I will spare you that part. But I will say that Devil Jin was the hardest character that I had to put at Tekken King, and I've been playing him for the longest. This isn't because he's some genius, fundamental, honest character. It's because from the previous game to this one, I find that they nerfed his basic tools, like the less range on jab, less frames in range on down forward one, things like those, and they gave him some more gimmicks that you can use them in ranked, but they will be countered somewhat, and the risk reward isn't exactly in your favor. Like the hell sweep doesn't do like the damage that I expect from like that sort of low with the mid mix-up. Those are like details that have to do with the character, but like even like sometimes the character isn't that great on paper, but I'll play them, and you can abuse the people that don't really know how to defend and attack, like I said. I just had difficulties with him, and also with Kazuya. Honestly, if you're fighting against Mishima, I don't like that sort of matchup, because it's a lot about not getting hit by random electrics, and if you're not doing that, then you have to be careful about the 50-50. They're very hectic matchups. I never liked playing them, but still, those are just a few examples. Victor I had to get a bit used to him. Peng a bit, but Peng is strong and Victor is as well. Oh, no, like these characters are strong. Kazuya is very strong as well. He's very fun. But like it doesn't compare to when in the story mode, when there's that sequence where you go push X to believe in yourself or something with Jin. Well, in ranked it's like push down 2 to win. If you don't believe in yourself, push down 2, then you believe in yourself because you won. With Reina it's the same, because you push 4-4-2, and if your spacing is bad, no problem. If you don't know much about frames, no problem. Just push 4-4-2 forward, go into Sentai, push one of the like 4 buttons she has, and you're good. And it's kind of like that. See, you can abuse. I am used to playing both in a way that I can defend against what my opponent is doing, and I can do like offense that is solid, that isn't too gimmicky. But because I've been playing ranked for so long now, I know the gimmicks that exist in the game, and I can abuse them against my opponents as well. And so it comes down to how well you adapt to your opponent. And for that, you need to know, you need to be able to watch what your opponent is doing. And you need to have deliberate decisions about what you're going to do while you're playing, whether you're attacking or defending. Because I noticed that a lot of people just autopilot both on defense and offense. They throw out random moves. They string together moves that, like, they do them just because they know the input, but they don't think about why they did them. And so it comes down to that, but to get that, you need a lot of experience, so you have to keep playing. You have to keep playing, and you also have to keep playing with a proper way of thinking. And there is no one way that is the correct way of thinking to maximize, your wins. You can think about the game in many ways, but there are a few ways that help you more than others and more easily as well. And since like this game, for example, wants you to emphasize on the aggressiveness, but that doesn't mean that defense is completely useless. In fact, it's very important to convert, the opponent's bad offense into aggression. And even if you're putting, like, in those gambling situations, it's important to know what your specific options are, so that, if you do end up picking the correct option in that situation, then you can convert it into an offensive situation in your favor. Even if in those situations that you're basically gambling and you have to guess, and you can call it unfair, you can call it whatever you want, but if you want to win, there are certain things that you have to do to get there. And it's like I said, there are many ways of thinking, but what's important is that you disregard whatever you think about the game or the character being weak or unfair or too strong, and you focus, like, you can do that and it can be funny and you can be frustrated, but it's a waste of time. And I'm telling you, with the ranks that I have here, I can put a few more. I can put everybody that I want at any rank that I want, given enough time. I'm just telling you with this that it's possible to pick any characters that you want, and you can get them to whatever rank you want. You've probably seen that there are a few God of Destruction ranks for every character, but that's not my intention here. When you're thinking about this game, and people often talk about tier lists and the way that they experience their game, and then they relate to the tier lists that they see that the competitive top players talk about. But the thing is that you're not an international competitive tournament player. You can become one, but you're not. I'm not talking to one at the moment, am I? I mean, I guess I am talking to myself. I used to compete nationally and internationally. I never got to be as good as those players, but I had some experiences. I never got as good. I just meant to say that I know a bit how things work, so really you don't have to worry about whatever, like, on paper, if a character that you like probably isn't that popular because people think they're not good. Like, let's say Asuka here, for example, right? I used to think in previous games she was stronger than people thought, and I still think maybe it's the case for this one. Stronger than people think. Like, she's not terrible, but I don't think she's very good either. Even still, if I go to play her, in ranked, it's probably going to be one of the easiest Tekken Kings, just because she stops people's mash so well. She has so many shenanigans options in flowcharts. It's incredible. It's a matter of adapting the character's strength to the type of opponents that you're going to meet. And you have to assess the type of opponent that you're meeting, and that's not something that everybody can do, especially when they don't have much experience. Like, sometimes I just enter a match and within the first 2 seconds or 3, I can already tell what player I'm facing, what type of player. It comes with time, and it comes also with a bit of, you know, having a head and good intuition, I guess. So don't worry too much. Look, the game might be, you know, very aggressive and plus frames and whatnot, and chip damage, oh no, the heat, also cheap. But I think it's a fun game, and you can win consistently. For the most. Like, for the majority of situations. You're not going to tournaments all the time, are you? I mean, are you? I guess, well, if you are, there's more work for you to do. And it's going to be tough work, but man, if you're just playing around, you know, you can do this, right? And now, just before I close the video, I wanted to go over like the easiest or the funnest characters that I ranked up to these ranks. And easiest were Jin and Dana. I think these are, and oh, Larsh as well, but more Jin and Dana. I think these are really like baby characters that help you play the, like, if you don't like somebody in this game and you want to just annoy them and beat them and then act like you're good, it's like people know that you're not good. But I mean, I guess it depends on you play. I'm not saying the Jin players are not all good or that there can't be a good Dana player. Obviously, you know, player quality is present no matter the character. But I am saying that if you want to be obnoxious and have an easier time, you play Jin or Dana, okay? I know that Dragunov is also very strong, but I have an easier time fighting against Dragunov than both of those two. Maybe partly because I also had a friend who played a lot of Dragunov and he taught me some things. I played Larsh and Yoshimitsu for a long time. Tekken Tag 2, I played Larsh, Kunimitsu, Devil, Jin, Lee, a bit of Yoshimitsu as well. So I know plenty about them, and I have an easier time. But I can guarantee you that most Yoshimitsu that you're going to find aren't very good. So study the character and you'll see that you'll be able to handle them. It's a matter of like breaking down situation by situation, move by move, and switching on and off like different modes of thinking while you're in the match. But that comes with time, like I said. And then surprisingly, so I always like Peng. With each game, I think Peng becomes more fun, and that's the same case for Lily. Peng, I don't know, he feels so fun to play. With the, you know, back 3, 4-1+2 now being a power crush, the new back turn low, down 1, the full crouch, down forward 4-1. Those are all like small tools, small things that he got that I quite like. And Lily, I played her so much played her for like 3 or 4 days straight. And then when I noticed I was Tekken Emperor, I'll tell you why she's so fun. It's not just because she's got new things that make her fun, like critical forward 3. I like those moves that hit off the ground. And she also has the new back turn down 2. So her full, like, I always thought that her back turn mix-up wasn't very good because her chunkiest low was reactable, down 3+4, The other low, like down 3-4, yeah, down 3-4, it was just bad. It was only on counter hit that that thing worked. And so the only thing you had left before, you know, in 7, was back turn down 4, which was a good low. Was like +7 on hit or something. The generic back turn lows used to be more plus than they are now. Now they're not that good. But now she has a chunky low, you know, knocks down on counter hit, gives her good frames. And one that reaches a bit farther, down, back turn down 4, that's a new one. And also I liked back 1 into do glide 2-1, the on counter hit. So doing a bunch of do glide cancels helps with offense if you don't go too overboard. But like I said, you have to pay attention. Sometimes you just have to hit the bricks, and people don't know how to hit the bricks. Especially people that play Lily at higher ranks. They just do their own thing, and it's hard to keep up with. And sometimes you can't always keep up with, but it's going to be also the downfall. You have to hit the bricks sometimes. It doesn't matter. Look, what matters is that I think she's really fun. So it's not only just because the gameplay is fun and she's pretty strong, not crazy strong, but she's strong. It's she's funny. Her new voice lines, whenever she does, you know, some of her moves like the 3+4, whenever she does a throw, like, you know, the elegant and the hola, and when she's chasing after her cat in the intro, they sound so funny. It's comedy. She doesn't take herself too seriously, and I hope that people wouldn't also take this game so seriously, even if they're being serious about learning the game. I just think it's better for everybody's enjoyment, and so you can think what you want about the game. I'm not taking into account the microtransactions and whatever. But, you know, the fighting part and the visuals and the characters' personalities, also the balance, the, you know, ranked match. For the most, this experience is not highest level tournament, and so you can play around and not always just do what you think is excellent, optimal, mathematical, you know, theory crafter, Paul rotation gameplay. You can play around with those things. And, you know, playing around is also part of the... If you want to end up playing high level, it's also part of that. Like, being unpredictable isn't you going crazy and sweating and throwing out all your full charts. It's mixing up timings. It's tricking your opponent. Not just with, you know, cookie cutter half-baked cancels like Lily's QCF 1-2 back or Xiaoyu's AOP 2-1 back. Sometimes you just get shot. But it's knowing when to use the cancels, the delays, switching up when you attack, at which ranges, how you respond to certain situations on frames. Like you say, oh, you're +6, why don't you take your turn? Because maybe you're saving that turn for when you need it. Maybe you put yourself at +6 5 times, you don't do anything, your opponent attacks and then you do a move. It's a frame trap and they go die. You don't have to do the frame trap all the time. You don't have to do the full string all the time. If you're playing Jin, you don't have to do down 4-1-4 all the time. You don't have to do Dana's down 4-1-2 all the time. She has a down forward one that's pretty good without the follow-ups, you know. Things like those. Playing around, you know, it's part of the game. And so if you play Lily, and I know Lily players are all very, very serious people. Twitter. Anyway, I wish that people could embody more of Lily's personality of being funny and not taking herself so seriously, and then apply it like to their own characters. Even when I'm playing Devil Jin, you know, I don't call him like I'm not when I'm playing Devil Jin. I can feel like when I'm playing Devil Jin or Kazuya, I can feel like their intentions, like their characters. Oh, you know, cool. you know, like you know what, all that. But you know, as I'm playing, I can also go, man, this pigeon just flying all over the place when I'm talking about Devil Jin, for example. So yeah, don't take things so seriously and have fun with the game. If you like it, and if you don't like it, then don't play it in it. Yes, I wish maybe the game was different in some areas, but for what it is, I'll have my fun with it. And I won't go to tournaments. I went to one. I thought, yeah, I'm not really doing anything here, so I'm not going to any more tournaments. It is what it is, but do tell me. Interested to know, a few months into the game, what like everybody thinks about, if they like playing ranked, if they like playing the game at all, how they enjoy playing the game. If you just like making costumes, going to photo mode, because you obviously know that people are going to use photo mode in a responsible and ethical manner. Do go ahead and tell me in the comments. But for me, that's it. Kind of fun game, yeah. I must say. So yeah, that's the video. See ya.